Well, hello there, humans of his earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka, and this is PUBG Mobile. I'm here today to have a chat to people about sniper rifles. Basically, I do a lot of guides and such across a few games, and this is one of the things that I've really enjoyed about PUBG, is a return to arms for the two-fort sniper war style of gameplay. I have a lot of fun running snipers, and some of my mates who are running around with me in the Patron clan asked if I could do a sniper guide, and I thought, why the hell not? I've already done an AR guide. Let's do another guide and do the down and dirty on the sniper. Now, before we start and kick off, I want to preface a couple of things here. Namely, the VSS is not going to be in this guide. It is a crap... I know it's got a better sniper rifle sight in terms of you can actually use the marks to figure out range and all that kind of thing, but it's still a subsonic rifle that doesn't really work very well outside of 200 meters. So you'll excuse me if I'm not really including that here. If you've got the VSS and you love using it, write me a letter and I'll possibly do something about that. The other one is the Mark 14, the designated marksman rifle. I just haven't got the gun enough out of crates to give you any kind of idea on it. I know the basics of it, but I don't know how it feels in the mobile universe. And that's what this is basically all about, the mobile universe. And it's very, very different to your pop in and play on PC, because it's a lot harder to aim in the mobile universe while you're running around and doing other things. And hence, a lot of your positions are going to be set positions with your sniper rifle, or at least you're going to have to practice an awful lot before you can start hitting shots on the fly and snapping them off. So this is about the only time I got a hold of the Mark 14, and I killed a bloke. Excellent. It was wonderful. Hope you enjoyed that. I can't really tell you much about that, but let's move on. I'm going to start from the bottom on up, really. This is the Mini 14. Now, I actually like the Mini 14 more than I like the SKS, and there's a couple of reasons for that. What I'm going to do is list the gun itself, and then some of the positives, the features of the gun. And one of the things I really like about the Mini 14 is its versatility. It does very, very well in close quarters combat, because you can upsize the magazine to 30 rounds. It's got very, very low recoil for a semi-auto, and it's got a very, very good shell velocity. And what that allows you to do is have a gun that in early games you can use as your main weapon when you struggle to find things, and in later game, if you're zoomed in and someone pushes up on you, you can quite often with the Mini 14 turn around and just tap the button as hard as you can and really fire off at a very, very decent rate of fire with very, very limited recoil, and have that ability to multitask. And that's something that you only really get with the SKS, I find, when you've got it fully kitted out. So although I think out of all the sniper rifles, just for the pure bolt action joy kind of feel that you get, it's probably at the bottom of the list. I do find that it's a very, very successful weapon for me. Now, the negatives are pretty obvious. It's got the lowest damage per shot. It uses .556 ammunition, which is not particularly spectacular in terms of knocking people down. And that's a tough one when you're firing on people at range, because at range, if you hit them a couple of times with the Mini 14, they'll generally pop down. And this is what I'm talking about. When you find people up close and personal, you can turn them and quickly go. Now, they're bots, but, take it for what it is. I'll show you some more live action with actual people in a sec. So you hit them 2 or 3 times at range, and that's great, but they then just come down, they heal on up, and you've got to start the whole thing all over again, because the Mini 14 is not really what you'd call a stopping power weapon. And this is what I mean. Look at it. Its ability to chuck a whole heap of shells out is really valuable when you don't have a lot of, go-to punch early in the game with, say, an AKM or an M16 or anything like that, and you've only got the Mini 14, you can multitask with it. If you can grab a snoke with it, it'll go great guns. And I've had some massively successful games with this gun, particularly with a suppressor. If you are in final circle and you're in the grass, you're in the long grass and you're doing the snake, and you've got a suppressor on this thing, you can sneak around and actually squeeze off an awful lot of shots with very, very low recoil, unscoped, and clear people that way. It's a particular thing, and it's not going to happen all the time, but it is certainly something that can do wonders. And if you can get headshots, obviously, if you can get headshots, well, happy days, you're going to do very, very well. As you're going to see here with this bloke, he doesn't have a helmet on, which means we're going to squeeze off a couple of very, very quick ones. Or if he's got a helmet, it didn't do him that much good. Lean and love, I always say. I'm going to give you an example now of that negative with the Mini 14 where you'll knock them down, but you won't kill them. And that's exactly what I do here. I set up for the shot very nicely. I get my lean on. I track across from the left to the right where I know there's slightly to the right here. And I'm just going to peek and poke. And I get my gun on, and you can see the low recoil. We can fire off 4 shots very quickly, 5 shots, 6 shots, and knock him down, but we don't kill him. We only knock him. He eventually crawled back around the other side of that barn and stayed alive. Now, this is very, very early days in a squad game. I've got no ammo left, really. I've got to rely on the Mini 14, and I do so, and this is where it comes into its own. I've got to clear this bloke and then actually revive my amigo here. There we go. We're going to revive. There's Benny, Blue Thunder, child of positive waves, wonderful human being all round. And this is the Mini's race on dare. It's really good at this. It's easily the most versatile close quarters rifle of any of the sniper style of rifles you get in the game. But you can't have everything. The more you lend yourself towards this stuff, the less you lend yourself towards that long range power punch that you really want in a sniper rifle. And because of that, if I have to go with a pure sniper, then this is going to be the bottom of the list. But for all that, I love running with it because the amount of times it's saved my bacon as a second weapon is beyond measure. Or when you're low and you're in severe ammo distress, you get the feeling, right? Then you move to the SKS, which is certainly a step further towards the sniper feel, right? It's very, very accurate on the first shot, which is great, unless you're Bushka and you're missing everything. But, you know, it hits much harder. 55 damage per round is a hell of a lot more than your Mini 14. And it's got that long-range, hard-hitting feel that you're really looking for. It'll take an attachment in all 5 slots. So you can have a sniper rifle with a whole lot more stability than you expect for something with this kind of ammo and this loadout and such. And once you get an upsized mag, it's very, very capable in close quarters engagement, CQC, because, you know, 20 rounds will do you the world of good. And it's a 7.62 round, so, you know, works well. The negatives on this are very much the exact, like, it's perfect once you get all the gear on it, right? But if you are getting this gun and you're just running it straight out of the box, then it's going to struggle because it needs the attachments to really shine. It kicks like an absolute mule compared to the Mini. And the shell velocity is very, very lowbrow. Your shell velocity is like 200 meters a second less than the Mini 14. So it really is a step up towards a proper big boy sniper rifle like the Kar 98. But at the same time, it severely lacks that versatility that the Mini brings to the table on the 3rd and the 4th shot. You can tap at mid-range on the Mini and you'll hit very, very quickly. You don't have to really adjust an awful lot for a stationary target. What it does do a lot better than the Mini is put people down. The issue you can have with the Mini is, as we mentioned before, you hit someone, you hit them again, they fall, they get knocked after 3 or 4 shots, but they're at such an extended range they can then crawl around the corner and get revived by a teammate. The SKS struggles with that a lot less, okay? It just puts people down a lot easier. For instance, the Mini with someone with no armor will take 3 shots to kill them still. The Kar will take 2. The level 1 armor on, you know, if you hit them on the torso, the Kar will take, the SKS will take 3 shots to kill. The Mini will take 4. And when you get up to like level 3 body armor, the Mini will take 6 shots to kill someone in level 3 body armor. The SKS will take 5. And that's a substantial amount of tapping on the old iPad compared to, you know, AWMs and cars and that where you're engaging at range. And not only is it a substantial amount of tapping, they're also generally going to be shooting back at you. In late game situations, you need firepower. And you start picking that firepower up with the Kar 98. The Kar 98 is a pretty special weapon, right? It's a pretty special weapon. And the beautiful thing about the Kar is it's not a pretender or anything else. Whereas the Mini and the SKS have tendencies towards the range of a AR, like a AKM or a M416, the Kar 98 just does one thing and one thing only, and that's work wonders at range. Now, sure, you can kill people close in, but it's such a poor facsimile of an AR that you don't really want to be doing that. It can do the headshot business like that. It's very, very accurate in the ranges, and it's got a big initial punch of 72 damage per shot. And if you're in a firefight, that means that there's quite a good chance that if you can actually pump someone with one of these in a headshot situation, you're going to completely clear them from the table, unlike the Mini or the SKS, where it's more likely that someone's going to get hit, drop, heal up, and go back to work again. You've got to start all over again, and that's a tough gig. The Kar is the first weapon where if you can actually land a headshot, you're going to be kicking ass. Now, the problem is obviously the super slow reload speed. It is like a World War II weapon. It's horrific, and it relies on those headshots. So you've really got to work your magic on that first shot. That initial round has to be the round that does the business. But here's the trick. Even level 2 helmets, you can one-shot people with level 2 helmets. And this is the first gun you're really going to come across in the sniper, the sniper retinue that can do that with any kind of regularity. It really is very, very important. The SKS takes 2 shots. The Kar takes just the one. And it, in fact, will do that with no helm, level 1, and level 2. 2 shots on a level 3 helmet will nut as well. Even with the iron sights, I find the Kar to be incredibly accurate. And I've pulled off some spectacular shots with this rifle. Done really, really wonderful things. In fact, it's such a favourite of mine. It really does remind me of playing Day of Defeat back in the day, where you'd run around with, the Kar as the German standard rifle. And you can see even with the iron sights, you allow for a little bit of bullet drop. Thank you very much. And then we're going to go down there and res lanky up, and that's a win for everyone. I'm going to show you a Kar shot at the end, like a very, very long range Kar shot, which is pretty hilarious. It's accurate, and if you can headshot as they go past, excellent. Bang, no more calls please, we have a winner. And it's got that beautiful bolt action feel. That's where what it's really all about. You can see there's a sniper up there in that window. I'm just moving left and right, trying to fool him, trying to flummox him. There we go to the four times, straight through the noggin, 6 kills, and onwards and upwards. The Kar for me is that beautiful feel. There's another one, we caught him leaning, bang, in the long grass, all the way up, probably about 250, 300 meters on that one. It's just got that feel about it. And that's what you want in a sniper rifle. It's a big part of the enjoyment factor for the game. People love these sniper rifles. And it's very, very important to get into that. And you can see, this is must clear people at range. We've got to get the Jeep. We're behind the blue curtain, and the Kar delivers. It's incredibly accurate. The shell velocity is low, which is unfortunate, but if you can get used to that and the lean, you will be absolutely kicking ass in no time. Now, as you get towards the end of the game, you can see that's a level 3 helm, and that absolutely means that you've got to make sure all your shots connect, and they are all headshots. You wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, you wait, and you wait for that perfect shot, and you do not blow the round until you have it. Because what will happen is, much like that Mini 14 that we talked about earlier, is if you don't get that headshot, then you are 100% going to give them a chance to bugger off and heal up again. Because body armor will wreck you. Have a look at this thing with a red dot. Yep, absolutely. There's 1. There's 2. Thanks for coming. Love me some Kar 98. I'm going to show you 1 or 2 more shots with the Kar 98. You probably guessed that I'm a huge fan of this weapon by now. It is one of the guns that I love running in squad. As the game progresses, though, its use kind of becomes... it gets phased out. As you get towards Final Circle, you'd be much better off going with an assault rifle or an armor light rifle as you go forward. Watch this shot. This is crackers. 2x scope, miles and miles and miles. Hit with the first, miss with the second, and then as he runs around behind a tree, just follow it up, follow it up, follow it up. That is love. As you get towards the end game, you need stopping power. You just need stopping power. If you're going to be using a sniper rifle in endgame, it has to 100% be a rifle that can stop them. And the M24 is where things really start to take off. It is the first bolt-action rifle you're going to come across that really pumps out the damage. 84 damage per shot, one-shot headshots on, the lot. Two shots, most things. The only time you're not going to two-shot something with this, if it's level 3 body armor, it can take 3 shots. That's it. Everything else is a one-shot in terms of helmets, apart from the level 3 Spetsnaz helmet, which is a double shot. But still, that's stopping power. Your shell velocity starts to pick up a little bit here with the M24, but it's still not great. 760 meters per second is a car. 790 meters per second is the M24. And those are your issues. But what it has is stopping power. It's the first time you get that rifle that pretty much is going to knock anyone outside of a top armored player. And you can see there's 2 people pushing across in front of us there. Take the first one, then get the second as well, and clear them both. Thanks to your mother for the rabbits. The reload is very, very slow, and it's hard to get because it's obviously a crate-only rifle. The plus with that is that it does take 7.62mm ammo. And that's important because when you get up to the AWM, obviously the ammo drops out of crates and nowhere else. Now, all of these guns are hilarious once you put a suppressor on them. They just do fantastic things once you get them suppressed. People just don't know where they're coming from. It causes all kinds of confusion and delay. And if you get the opportunity, I would run all these guns with a suppressor. Possibly the only difference with that would be the SKS, which I may run with a compensator just because the recoil really, really needs a lot of help. But these bolt actions, they are absolutely 100% going to be suppressor friendly. And I just believe that if you are using a bolt action sniper rifle, you want to be a silent but deadly killer. And the best way to do that is have a suppressor on. You can see that guy had no idea where that was coming from. Absolutely no idea. And he goes down. Never got to look at where the shot was coming from because we're using the suppressor, and the suppressor is love. Now, what about if you are running an M24 and you're looking for an upgrade? Well, I got you, fam. If you're looking for an upgrade on the M24, look no further than the beast that is the AWM. The AWM has some really, really solid features, namely the highest single shell damage in the game, 132 damage a shot. The ability to one-shot kill everyone, regardless of helmet type. It's going down if you land a helmet shot. And the shell velocity, it's a superb shell velocity step up from the 7.62mm shells that you run in the Kar 98 and the M24. You get over 900 meters per second of shell velocity. It's about 10% lower than Mini 14, but it packs a whole lot more wallop. Superbly accurate, way out into the long grass, and just a game changer for those end of round situations. The negatives, well, they're the standard bolt action sniper rifle negatives. Really, you can't change that up. It's going to have a very, very slow rate of fire. The reload is going to be very brutal. It's exceptionally hard to get because it's a crate only drop. And the ammo is also crate only, which is kind of the balancing factor here. If it was just 7.62 ammo or something crazy like that, or ammo that was readily available in the world itself, then you'd be able to spam a lot more AWM. As it is, you've got to be conservative with your shots. You can see I've just started the game when I'm taking this footage. It was really not realizing that you had to get headshots. I thought it was just like Counter-Strike where you fire and hit them with an AWP, they go down, downtown Freddie Brown. Nowadays, we know, always go for the head because it's cool. It's a lot more fun. I'm going to show you a couple of situations with the AWM which are just so indicative of the kind of gun it is. If they've taken any damage whatsoever and you can get a body shot on them, you will put them to sleep. That's all there is to it. And if you are able to just get a suppressor on this thing, oh God. it intimidates everyone. If your squad knows there is someone on the hill with an AWM, they don't want a bar of it because the thing can reach out and do the business at absolutely ungodly ranges. And with an 8x scope or a 4x scope, a whole lot of ammunition, you can go hog wild. But you don't want to waste your ammo because obviously being crate only, it can take an awful lot of time to find another bit of AWM ammo. Not to mention the fact that you have to actually contest those crates to get it. So you want to make sure that when you're firing, you have a great shot. Now, the issue you have with a lot of other sniper rifles is you hit them once or twice, they pull out of view and then heal up. That's the beauty of the AWM. It doesn't give them that opportunity to heal up. If you can get them in a situation where you can get a headshot on them, they can go do whatever they want, but healing won't be part of the business. Its suppressor is just hilarious. Look at that. I mean, he's got no idea where that's coming from. It says, love it, can't get enough of it. Anytime you put on the yellow pants, you know things are going to be good. I'm a massive fan of this gun. I think the fact that it's in a crate and it's so hotly contested is all the balance that I would ever touch it with. You need a god monster gun in the game, and this is that gun. Now, you can see this is towards the end of the game. There are the 3 blokes in my squad left and 1 bloke and 4 blokes from their squad. I actually thought I'd knocked him in the head, but we get him on the second shot. No worries at all. He's knocked. And then we start looking across the way towards the far reaches. You can see over there, there is a 2-story building. They are sniping. They, however, do not have an AWM. And it will absolutely ruin your day. We are putting people down with alarming rapidity. This thing at the end of the game, when you have limited targets and have very, very limited amount of time on target, is an absolute showstopper. Is it worth going for crates? Hell yes. If you can get this out of it or an M24 out of it, you are going to become a game-changing human. And you're going to see here, I push up really, really hard. It's me and Tiki. There's 2 blokes left over there on the other side. I'm going to push up really hard with the AWM, and it makes an absolutely clutch kill on this bloke. Now, we hit this guy, and we just don't get the headshot, though. We do manage to nut him. He must be on an absolute bee's dick worth of health, because there's no way in the world he's got a whole lot left. We push up really, really hard up here, and then we're going to go prone, put a couple of shots in there, just in case he's moving out a bit prematurely. But we know that he's probably just taken that time to heal up. We're going to get down, down, down. We miss our first shot. There it is. That's all right. As long as we get time for a second, just need to touch him. Yes, thank you, mother, for the rabbits. It is a brutally effective gun. Just so intimidating, so effective at clearing guns at the end of game. I hope you enjoyed that. That is my sniper rifle rundown. PUBG Mobile is some kind of beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. There is definitely a line of demarcation between the mobile variant of the game and the PC Mac Daddy. And that aiming mouse ability that you can get on PC that you're not meant to get on PUBG Mobile, which some people do use emulators for, but which, you know, Tencent apparently is working on minimizing, is pretty important. It's a lot harder to aim in this game on the move and running around, and using guns that have a burst fire mode is very, very difficult. And likewise, using sniper rifles while moving is also very, very difficult. So mastering these guns and getting the most out of them is really, really important. And with that in mind, I would strongly recommend that you do run a bunch of solo, not just squad stuff, because you can contest crates and you're a much better chance of actually getting them when you're one on your own instead of 1 in 4. Anyway, guys, look after yourselves. Really, really appreciate the views, the subscribes, the likes. Make sure you spread the word. Tell the humans about it. And until next time, stay safe on the battlefield.